Six Nations Round 5 Team of the Week time then. On Super Saturday, who wore their jersey best? It would be a miracle if we agreed on every single position, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? Having different opinions. So let me know yours down below in the comments. Please speak up for the person that you really rated the performance of. And I'll tell you what I will also do at the end of the video is pick my top 3 performers, regardless of position, across the weekend, which, bearing in mind there was some standout individual performances on winning and losing teams. I will... Yeah, I toed and froed quite a lot on that one, so I'll be really interested to know what you think. Give the video a thumbs up as well. Takes you no time, costs you no money, but really helps. Starting with shirt number 1, which I've given to England's Ellis Genge. I don't know about you, but I am amazed at the transformation in England's scrum, bearing in mind it has been an Achilles heel in some of the biggest matches over the last 5 years, and as an England fan, that's been quite hard to watch. Traditionally an area of strength, and it's getting back to that level now. I don't know whether it's Steve Borthwick has instigated this change, whether it's the players themselves, I don't know, but whatever the case is, a weakness for England is now getting back to being a strength, and Ellis Genge was dominant in the scrum, and you add that to his all-round play where he is a violent, rampaging ball carrier, and he had a really impressive performance in Cardiff. Dan Sheehan, the obvious choice at hooker, hat-trick, yeah, fine, 2 of the tries, he was at the back of them all, but he popped up on the wing for the 3rd one. Name a more iconic duo, Dan Sheehan and scoring on the wing. And when Ireland aren't playing well and they need something to happen, invariably anything good comes through this man who is an enormous part of their future and is an absolute shoo-in, so long as he stays fit, to be the starting hooker for the British and Irish Lions. Potential captain as well, given how far ahead he is of anyone else in that position. And Dan Sheehan, I've got either side of him. English props, Will Stewart, what an improvement this man has made from last year's Six Nations. He's never been poor, but he's also been one of those players that you're like, are we going to see the potential of Will Stewart realised? He got his 50th cap in Cardiff, and he marked that with a standout performance. After the jinking footwork against Italy last week, we saw a little bit more of it as he scored a try, and again, dominant at scrum time, which for England isn't something we've been able to say for a while. Into the second row, and Thibaut Flamand is maybe the biggest change in France in that game against England versus the tournament since. They have just hit the accelerator and dominated. Smashed Italy, smashed Wales at the start, obviously without Flamand. Hammered Ireland, beat Scotland comfortably in the end. Set piece rock solid, but the amount of work Thibaut Flamand does besides that, he has been outstanding. In the second row with him, I've gone for England's captain Maro Itoje, who's had an outstanding Six Nations tournament. And I mentioned Dan Sheehan, potential British and Irish Lions captain. Maro Itoje has to be a contender. Caelan Doris would be the other one. It's going to be one of those 3 guys will be British and Irish Lions captain, because there are few other players that are absolutely nailed on, pretty much guaranteed to start, so long as they are fit. Shout for Chandler Cunningham South in the second row, who equipped himself very well. Oh, perfect point for me to say. Rugby is now a 23-man game more than ever, isn't it? And after some comments in the channel, I have shifted, so I do a 23-man squad for these teams of the week, because rugby is a 23-man game. Why leave it to 15 when it's so important? So, yeah, there is space for some of the good players that aren't recognised in the 15 to get recognised on the bench. Into the back row, Francois Cross is amazing. What a player. He's the glue that just pulls it all together for France. He does so much unseen work. He hits so many rucks tidying up their ball. He slows down the opposition by being a menace. He tackles for days. He's a link man. He is just relentless, and he's so important for France. His work rate is off the charts, and he's in the back row alongside Ben Curry, who was peerless this weekend. An absolutely magnificent performance. And there's some pictures of Ben and Tom Curry with their parents after the game. Everyone's got massive smiles on their face, and it just made you wonder about the dynamic of what it must have been like in that family, with Tom Curry getting all the caps, British and Irish Lions tours, World Cup finals he played in, and Ben knew he had that talent but wasn't given the opportunity to show it. and his parents were delighted for Tom, but would have had to have kind of kept pumping up the tyres of Ben. How special it must be as a family to be able to experience this together right now. And I'm sure the happiest person of all that that Ben Curry got man of the match in that game in Cardiff would have been Tom Curry, who I've put in the back row. Yes, he's not a number 8. He played on the flank, but I mean, England are demonstrating right now that the back row is a fluid position. You don't need to be a specialist number 8, number 7, number 6. Just get your best players in there. So I thought Tom Curry was immense as well. So I've got him in. Could have been Ben Earl, could have been Matt Fagerson, could have been some others as well. But I thought both of the Curry twins were absolutely sensational. And that back row, Francois Krause, Ben Curry and Tom Curry, is pretty spicy. Into that backs then. And again, let me know what you think so far. I've gone for Martin Pajrello at scrum half. There were some good performances. Alex Mitchell in Cardiff for England was very good. Maxime Lucu, excellent for France. Brilliant kicking, tactical control. Martin Pajrello shredded Ireland's defence. And it's not many people that can outdo Jamison Gibson Park and can outrun Josh van der Fleer. And there was that one break from the base where he just went. And Jamison Gibson Park got completely tied up. Josh van der Fleer was nowhere to be seen. And that guy made one of many line breaks for Italy. And a bunch of the line breaks happened while he was on the field. His injury was a big moment in that match, along with the cards for Italy as well. They might be wondering today what may have been. But Martin Pajrello is in my team. And he's alongside Finn Russell, who I thought had a really good game in Paris. I've seen quite a lot of criticism for Finn Russell. Personally, I don't get it. But, that it's an opinion game, isn't it? And it'd be boring if we all thought the same thing. So I welcome it. Let me know your opinion. I thought Finn Russell, he just gets teams that he's playing in moving. He gets unfairly cast as a maverick 10. Yes, he's got amazing skills and passing ability, and he can do things that other players can't do. But he's much more than that. He's a controlling force at fly half, and I think his game management is excellent. And Scotland, again, I think I mentioned this stat on a video yesterday. Scotland ran for over 1,000 attacking metres, double the number that France got. So Finn Russell got Scotland moving, got them in the right position to win the game. Scotland as a team couldn't actually punch it in and finish, partly due to some brilliant scramble defence from France. But I've got Finn Russell at fly half. Could have been Finn Smith. He was very good as well. Thought Roman and Tamak was really good too. Centres, Yoram Moefana. What an absolute revelation he has been. One of the big features of the Six Nations Championship victory for France has been the next-gen players that have really stepped up. I say that, and Yoram Moefana he's been around for a while now. He's only 24, but he's got about 40 caps. An amazing record, actually, but he's always been slotted in on the wing. He's been in the number 23 shirt. He's only played when other players are injured. He's the man now, and he is a focal point in that French midfield, and it looks like he's going to be there for many years to come. He's got bigger. He's a physical presence, attack and defence, and he has been absolutely brilliant in the Six Nations Championship and a strong performance again. And alongside Tommaso Menoncello, you've got two of the best centres in the world. Tommaso Menoncello is absolutely box office. The try-saving tackle and turnover, that was against England last week, wasn't it? The making something out of nothing. The try for Monte Ioane for Italy was all Tommaso Menoncello just doing something inspired. He's big, he's incredibly quick, properly intelligent, offloads, kicks, breaks. This kid has got it all. Onto the wing, talk about kids that have got it all. 21 years of age, just a year younger than Tommaso Menoncello. The world at his feet. Are we watching kind of like the new rising star, maybe the future face of rugby? The try scoring record he's got, what is it, 18 tries in 19 tests, something ridiculous like that. 8 in this tournament alone. His finishing ability, just pace gets him in a lot of positions to capitalise. But then he just has just an amazing skill set to actually deliver. What a tournament he's had. And I thought Mac Hansen was really good. Only 2 Irishmen in the starting 15. Mac Hansen and Dan Sheehan. Mac Hansen's so busy looking for work off his wing. It wasn't a really fluent Irish attack, so the ball wasn't getting to him on the wing all that much. So Mac Hansen says, fine, I'll come in. I'll be first receiver. I'll come in on your inside shoulder. I'm going to come hunting. And the amount of work that he does and the ground that he covers for his team to try and overload one side, to be the extra man, which he was for Ireland. And without Mac Hansen coming back in the side and playing so well, they may have ended up losing to Italy. And finally, Blair Kinghorn is my fullback. I mean, there are some other really good backs. Blair Murray, I really like the look of. Bolter for the British and Irish Lions, Blair Murray. He's a fun player to watch. Hugo Keenan was decent. I should have mentioned Darcy Graham, Tom Roebuck, Elliot Daly, Tommy Freeman, Gail Ficku. But yeah, Blair Kinghorn, big, very, very quick. And how much better has he got since he's been at Stade Toulousain? If you want to, in fact, that game against Scotland, if you want another reason on top of many, many reasons to let players go and play in France because it's good for a national team, Ben White and Blair Kinghorn have been great. And they've both got much better since they've been playing in France. As I said, that is my 15, but rugby's a 23-man game, so I've got 23 players. Julien Marchand is the replacement hooker that I've got. He came off the bench for France, both when Piato Malvaca had that brain fart moment and decided to launch himself at Ben White with his head. That was only a 10-minute spell he had. Should have been longer. Marchand should have been on for the rest of the game, but he came on later and was part of that nuke squad for France, which did its job and obliterated Scotland and Marchand. The maul was huge, and Marchand and Scrum got on top of them, and Marchand was pivotal in all of those areas. Despite it being quite a tough day for P.S. Schoeman, and it has been a tough tournament for P.S. Schoeman scrummaging-wise, he hasn't been as dominant there. Around the park, huge, huge performance, which he needed, because Ellis Genge has been playing really well. Andrew Porter, obviously one of the men in contention, and P.S. Schoeman was dropping down the pecking order for the British and Irish Lions. He had a good performance. And Xander Fagerson, 80 minutes against 15 French forwards. That tells you a lot about the guy. The engine of Xander Fagerson is amazing. To keep going at that intensity and that kind of game is quite remarkable. I've gone for Chandler Cunningham South in the second row. 19 minutes he came on, and he had a massive 61 minutes. Got himself on the across the whitewash and was all action. And Steve Borthwick's risk with no specialist second row paid off. And again, just like Louis Béobiere, this guy is 21. He's 21 years old. England have got such a young team. France have got such a young team. They are going places, both of them. I thought Matt Fagerson's performance for Scotland was brilliant on a losing team. He was so physical. And talk about a player that needed a performance. He's been sat on the bench for the most part in the Six Nations. He's watched Jamie Ritchie come in and take his shirt back. And Matt Fagerson's been playing so well for Glasgow and Scotland that he would have been thinking he's got a real chance to get to Australia on the British and Irish Lions tour. And he probably felt that opportunity might be ebbing away. But he reminded Andy Farrell in Paris what Matt Fagerson can bring. And the fact that he can play right across the back row and did a really good job at number 8, that could be important. Maxime Lucu. I've gone for a 5-3 split. It's a bit old school, a bit radical, but there you go. I'm a maverick. Maxime Lucu in the 21 jersey. Could have been Alex Mitchell. Maxime Lucu's kicking, the length of his kicking, the accuracy, the control that he brings to a game was magic. Finn Smith, really talk about controlling a game. Finn Smith did that in Cardiff. You don't score 68 points unless you fly half is pulling strings. And he absolutely did. I thought Roman Antemak was good. I thought kicking aside, Jack Crowley had a decent game as well. And to finish the 23, Darcy Graham. He's just a fun player. And scored a really good try. All action performance, and again, much like Mac Hansen, I love the way Darcy Graham, despite being a little man, you want him on the outside, trying to beat someone one-on-one. He came inside. I'll take the forwards on as well. Tough little nuggety player as well as rapid. So that is my 23-man squad. As you can see, 5 Englishmen in the pack, which tells a story. England completely dominated Wales power-wise, and France with 4 players in the 15, Ireland with a couple, Italy with a couple, and Scotland with a couple. So fairly well distributed, with France and England just contributing slightly more than anyone else. Scotland 4 on the bench, England 3, a couple of Frenchmen on the bench too. So that probably reflects a disappointing day for Ireland, although they got the win. Probably reflects a disappointing day for Italy, because they had some really good performances and might feel like an opportunity has gone begging. And I think the fact that there are 6 English forwards in that 23 speaks to the pure power that they brought, which maybe only France have more of, although France have power up front and some electrifying players in the back line, which is where there's our spread, 3 forwards and 3 backs. As for top 3 players overall, to finish off the video, I'd love to know what you think about this. Really hard to pick. I went for bronze position, if you will. 3rd place in my player of the week, Yoram Moefana. Direct, physical, attack and defence. Key moments, key plays. Ficku alongside him was great as well. That combination's brilliant. Another centre gets my silver spot. In 2nd place, Tommaso Menoncello is an absolute baller. Absolute worldie of a player. He is approaching, if not already there, at World 15 levels. I'd say him and Damien Dialende. It's going to be interesting. In the coming weeks, I will do my player power rankings again, reflecting the Six Nations tournament, seeing what's changed in the power rankings when you take all players who are the top 10 in the world. And I think Tommaso Menoncello might be moving upwards. And finally, the best player of the week for me, the best player on Super Saturday out of all 6 teams, all 23 players from all of those 6 teams, the best individual performance for my money was Ben Curry. Immense. And he has been doing that from the bench for England. He did it with a start. And the back row stocks that England have got are frighteningly good. To the point where arguably, maybe, potentially, possibly, who knows, we'll never know because he's not allowed to play, maybe the best of all of them, Jacques Willis, is a player that England aren't even missing currently. There you go, that's my team of the week. Let me know what you think. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and keep tuned to the channel for more coming soon.